Hello everyone, in this time my friend and I will be present our game concept with live online, and we name our game with Kingdom of Dreamer. And our groups consists of me, Daniel Bima Maraceta, and then Antonius Stanley Waskita, and the last is Antonius Romi Andika Pradipta. To make the concept of this game, we took some problems that have existed in Indonesia since several years ago, and so far they haven't been resolved by government or community in these areas. And the first problem is focus on developing underdeveloped and remote areas. And we got 2 points from these problems. The first is standard of living and economic dynamic in these areas stagnated. And the second is lack of supporting infrastructure, especially roads and electricity. Many areas in Indonesia don't have a good infrastructure, so that needs many people can be fulfilled. And supporting infrastructure make electricity and community economic active slower than urban area. And when we compare with several large island in Indonesia, only Java Island has a complete and fulfilled infrastructure in this economy. For road access, there are also many areas in Indonesia and still very underdeveloped, so that the economy is difficult to develop in Indonesia. The second problem is uneven spatial plan. Uh, and we got 2 points from this problem. The first point is uneven regional spatial planning. The second is spatial planning that emphasizes urban only. And the third is disadvantaged area that don't have a good spatial planning. And in several regions in Indonesia that focus very much to urban only development. So that many rural areas in urban suburbs haven't been developed at all by government. And it could be that in the areas there are many unique activity or places that are less we know by the public and government, or in some marginal area have a place to produce a good that could actually increase income if government can continue to develop them. And the third or the last problem is equality and in community social inequality. And we got 3 points about this problem. And the first point is unfulfilled basic community needs. The second is lack of even education. And the third is unequal employment opportunities. Because of uneven developed in underdeveloped areas, so that people don't get a right they should get. For example, proper education and the opportunity to get a decent job. And the third is other needs such as hospital and so on that they don't get. And other problem is school and public areas are a problem that haven't been resolved by the government. And the next explanation will be explained by my friend, and thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity my friends Bima has given to me. In this session, I will explain you about our game further so that you can know what experience and excitement you will get while playing our games. After doing some research and getting the data we need from the problems like my friend explained earlier, we are starting to design this game. This game is called Kingdom of Dreamer. Kingdom of Dreamer is a new city builder game that will make you the mayor of a small town. You will develop your city from a small city to a big city, from a big city to a metropolis. Your small town will start as a village, but will grow bigger by placing more buildings. Kingdom of Dreamer is also packed with the quests and the variety of content, as well as activities that can always be done. Build a city with a goal, with a target. In addition to 100 of buildings to unlock, this city building game has dozens of quests to get treasure chests filled with cool items. This game is equipped with a lot of cool buildings that must be opened and will make you feel at home for a long time collecting money to create and develop a city and design it according to your wishes. The making of this game has another purpose, namely to simulate the problems that often occur in Indonesia, which causes many regions in Indonesia to be left behind and remote, so that they can create appropriate and efficient solutions that can be taken to solve these problems, which are expected to be realized in real life. This time I will explain about the game features. There are 4 game features that are very useful for players. The first is the world map. These features serve to see the development of other cities built by other players. The second is nation. This feature is useful for players who want to unite their cities into a country. The advantage for players who, when uniting several cities, is to increase income and population so that the player's city development becomes faster. The more players who cooperate, the greater the income of their city. The third is World Dominator. This feature contains a list of top 100 players who have increased their city above the average player. The advantage of being a world dominator is that player will get a certain amount of gold and diamonds at a certain time. And the last is achievement. Achievement is basically a mechanism reward in the form of an emblem, medal, or icon image that symbolize your achievement while you're playing games. One of the other functions that can be given in the achievement is providing another way to enjoy a game. Through the requirement contained in the system achievement, a player can be directed to pursue a style of play that he has never done before. Target market. So there are at least 3 targets that we want to achieve after releasing this game. The first is people who need casual games for entertainment. The second is people who want to play strategy games and are knowledgeable. And the last is, we hope after playing this game, the player will know that there are many underdeveloped areas in Indonesia that need to be paid attention to. The next sections will be explained by my friend Stanley. I'll turn you over to him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunities, my friend Romy. Now I will explain you about the mission for the game. In this game, there are several missions and also prizes that will be given if the player completes the mission. Start from the mission. The first mission that player have to do is build a building. at the first time that player played this game, they will be directed to the tutorial that they require to build buildings that will be used continuously until the future. The building that I tell you is more like central building, maybe some like White House, gold mining, lumberjack, building store, and others. Then the second mission is upgrade your building. By upgrading existing buildings, there are several benefits that will be given to players. The first one is production rates from mining and other material production are increasing. Storage area, building materials, etc. can accommodate more and get better features. Then the third mission is decoration point. Decoration is very important to beautify player's city, and by increasing the decoration points of your dream city, it will increase your chance of getting more likes from other players. It will make your city famous, and the player with the highest likes can be number one on World Dominator. Then the last mission is build landmark. By building a landmark, it will increase percentage of likes that players gets. I say this because a landmark is a magnificent building that can make the player's dream city look more modern and better. In this game, there are several existing landmarks such as historical buildings, museums, and high towers, and etc. And now I will explain you about the reward that players get if they finish the mission. The first reward is gold. By following the tutorial, players will get several gold to continuing development for the future. All the missions that I have mentioned in the previous slide, all those missions will get gold according to the mission given. If the mission classified is as heavy, then the player will get gold as much as possible, and vice versa. Then the second reward is diamond. The diamond is used to complete in person for the entire building construction process. By completing the available mission, player will get diamonds that are worth the mission carried out by the player. Then the third one is experience. The form of experience is point. It can increase the player's level. The higher level of the player, the more buildings that can be built. And now the fourth reward is point for decoration. The player will get decoration point if the player puts some decoration on their city. To gain decoration point, player have to complete mission about build some decoration building. The higher of decoration points, the more beautiful the player's city will be. The last reward is building material. If player upgrading the lumberjack and other that building produce some building material, player will gain some building material. In this game, building material is so important because it used to build some building like landmark, decoration, and others. Now, I will explain you about the game's advantage. The first one is can simulate the building of city freely. And the second one is players are free to determine the strategy in building the city of their dreams according to the player creativity. And the third one is utilize resource to build the city of the player's dreams. And the last one is build your own buildings to earn money. From the game's advantage that I tell you before, we can conclude that this game was to train the imagination of the player and also to manage finance in the game. And now I will explain you about the possibilities for epic win. The first thing is getting likes from other players. If some player got many likes from other player, that player can be number one at World Dominator, because this game is more like a contest of creativity and imagination of each player, and players can also judge the imagination of each player's city by giving likes. If the player likes other player's city of imagination. And the second thing is better city, better grade. If the level of the player is high, the more building that can be built and that make his city nicer and more attractive. From the way, the player can get a lot of likes and become number one in World Dominator. And the last one is unconsciously train players solve complex problem. From that way, player will be able to adjust the balance in the city. So that's all from us. Sorry if there are mistakes in the mention of words or errors in the sentence. And thank you.